Okay, hello. This is Journal Chat Live with Romany's Realm. I'm Romany. Hello. You can't see my face because it doesn't like my laptop webcam, apparently. I just get a black screen. This is part 3 that we've done today. If you want to see this page being created, then you can go and look at the other two, part 1 and part 2, which I did this morning. Those are available on my YouTube at Romany's Realm. You can also watch them here, but they won't stay here for very long. Once they're up on YouTube, I'll take them off here. Am I going to do a tour of my new place? Well, I was going to, but to be honest, it hasn't changed very much from when I moved in. And for various reasons, I don't want to show it. I can't really go into details, but there's somebody been looking at my Facebook and Twitter and video and things that isn't supposed to know as much as they do, let's put it that way. So I have to be very careful what I put out publicly at the moment. What I'll probably do is do it on Periscope because it's only up for 24 hours. Or I might do it, I could do it as a private video on YouTube, but put it on my website, couldn't I? So you can only view it if you're in my classes or if you've got a login for my site, because I can control who's got access to that. So I might do it that way, or I might just not do it, or I might just do my... Get off! My mum and dad came on Wednesday. This place is spotless. I might just do my desk, because that's where I spend like 95% of my time. I might as well just do a tour of my desk. I know a lot of people ask about my filming setup and stuff like that, so I might, yeah, I could do my desk. I don't really want to do the rest of the flat, to be honest. It's my little safe haven. I love it here, and I don't really want to do a whole flat tour. But yeah, I could maybe just do my desk in a storage area and that, because that's all on one wall. Like, if this is the shape of the living room, my desk is all along that wall with my books and my supplies and everything is just along that wall. So I could, yeah, I could do that. The other thing is, a lot of people have been saying like, oh, you're doing all these long videos and you're not doing your normal videos anymore, and I miss those and blah, blah, blah. Oh, why have you stopped doing them? I haven't stopped doing them, okay? People, honestly. I can come on here and do a live show for 1, 2, 3 hours, however long, and upload it to YouTube, and that's it. It's done and dusted in 4 hours. Or I can do a video like I usually do that's maybe 40 minutes long, 20 minutes long, whatever, and spend the best part of 6 hours editing it and filming it and rendering it, sometimes more, because I'm having to use the new iMovie, which is atrocious. And you know, then I've got to upload it to YouTube as well. So, you know, you'd like to see how I organise my art supplies. I'd like to see how I organise my art supplies too. The way I organise my art supplies is, stuff I'm using right now is here. Stuff I was using earlier but haven't put away yet is there. And everything else is either over there or over there. And every so often I shout, craft lunch! And you hear a big bang, and that's things falling off the end of the desk. And when the things that have fallen off the end of the desk reach the same level as the desk, I start going through it and pulling it out and trying to put it somewhere else. That's basically how I organise my art supplies. I don't organise. The most I've got is I've got a new little 10 tray cart next to me. And from top to bottom, it's got the top tray's odds and sods, which is just basically stuff I've used that I haven't put away yet, but needs to go in one of the drawers. I've got, at the moment, pencils, acrylic paints, watercolour markers, chalk markers and paint markers in drawer 4. Drawer 5, watercolour, palettes and Inktense pencils and watercolour pencils. Draw, what am I on? 6 markers, alcohol markers. Draw 7 page flags, stickers, stickies, those kind of things. Draw 8 the rubber stamps and ink pads that I use on a regular basis. Draw 9 all my other pens, and draw 10 down at the bottom is pastels and charcoal and all that kind of stuff. That's about it. I've got very few supplies. I got rid of an awful lot of supplies when I moved. Awful lot of stuff I wasn't using went home with Tracy Fox. Oh, I haven't modded you. Mod. Claire. Mod. There we go. And then all my acrylic stuff and the new stuff that I've got from Deco Art and my mediums and stuff are all just in trays over there, like in, you know, the mushroom trays. The mushroom trays like that, the stackable ones. They're all in those, and I just take out what I want. So that's it. I'm not really that organised. If I organise my art supplies, I spend more time organising them and trying to find them than I do actually using them. Maybe I should do a video on that. So this is the page we did earlier. I think most of you were here for this, except Claire. Claire got paint in my hair. Donata Donata Joe. Oh yes, I recognise that name. You're one of my students, aren't you? Hello. This was the page we did earlier. I woke up this morning with this burning idea to do this. This is a colouring book, believe it or not. This is the Steampunk Fashions colouring book. It's the new one that's come out. It's not the other one that everybody's got at the moment. Everybody's already got this one, I think. I just got this one. This literally just came out. It was supposed to come out Halloween. It actually came out, I think, about a week ago. And I'd done this one yesterday. This is Crayola markers, kids' felt tips, basically. And then I'd coloured her in watercolour. And I didn't like the background. Well, I did, but it's like this again. And I'd already just done this. And I was like, I'm not painting all those cogs again. Oh, thank you, Claire. Claire's used to being a mod, you see. Claire's my meet and greet committee. If you want to say anything direct to me, if you want to say anything direct to me, or you need to get my attention or ask a question, then you need to put it in caps because I will not see it, trust me. Yeah, you need this book, Claire. You need both of these books. You'd love them. This one is all male and females. You're not a student, Joe Donato. I recognise your name. Have you got to log in for the site, but you're not signed up to a class or something? I know your name from somewhere. Yeah, these are all male and female. So lots of potential here. I think you'd prefer this one, Claire, to be honest, because this is more about steampunk, and that's a stupid thing to say, isn't it? It's not more about steampunk, but it's more technical, like him. He's very nice, actually. I like that one. And these are removable. The pages are removable, so you can pull them out. Oh, you're my biggest fan. Oh, and the fur babies. Yeah, Scooby-Doo is in bed, I think. And Miss Maddie. Oh, Miss Maddie's gone to sit on the sofa. Are you not sitting with Mummy? No, she says, I got the whole sofa to myself. Why would I be sitting under the desk? Didn't you mention using Copics on Twitter yesterday? No, that was, no, I was using Copic techniques here. But it's not Copics, it's Crayola felt tip pens. It's kids' markers. Kids' watercolour not watercolour, water super tips. What do you call blah 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 blah. Crayola super tips, you know, the kind you get to kids to play with. I bought a pack of 50. Dee Dee enabled me. But then I thought, well, hang on a minute. I bet you could use these because they bleed. If you put two colours together and they bleed into each other and you don't get nice clean lines, you see how these have bled into each other? It's almost like you have blended them. So if you put two very similar colours together, they're going to look blended. So you can do Copic marker techniques with them to a limited extent. I mean, it'll bleed through like crazy, but you just put the main colour on that you want, then you put in while it's still wet, so you work in small sections. So like the sleeve, I actually did it in about 4 sections. I did this bit, then this bit, then this bit, then this bit. So you do the main colour, in this case the bright red, then I went in with the dark red while it was still wet, and then I went over the top again with the main red. So you get a much brighter main red colour, but the dark red bleeds into the other 2 layers. So you get kind of a blended effect. I mean, you don't get anything near what you get with Copic markers, for heaven's sake. But I just wanted to prove that you can do similar things with a bog standard packet of kids markers that cost £4.99, I think I paid for mine. I probably will colour some of these with Copics and Pro markers because I've got both, and Spectrum Noir markers because I've got those as well. But you know, I just wanted to prove that you can do it. You don't. It's about the technique. It's not about the tools. Because Copics are expensive. This is all done in watercolour. I haven't finished her yet. This is all watercolour. This is G-Tech, Pilot G-Tech C4. And her skirt I just did in Portfolio Pastel. I rubbed some Portfolio Pastel over it because I wanted it to be very light and flowy, and I'm going for texture on her. So she's got leather, she's got lace, she's got chiffon-y type floaty material. She's going to have satin on her gloves, so there'll be very high shine. Satin on her hat, metal on her glasses. So, and then, like I said, I woke up this morning with this burning idea of, instead of taking my picture out of my colouring book and putting it in my art journal, why not bring my art journal into my colouring book? And apparently, if you go on to this morning's chat, and the video chat for that one, I don't know if you can still access it, but hi Cheryl, no, just getting started. Just showing what I did this morning, which is available in the other 2 videos, so you can go back and watch those later if you want to. Now I've lost what I was going to say. What was I saying? Oh yeah, somebody shared earlier that Journal Artista has done a similar thing, but she coloured in one side, because these are single-sided pages and they're removable on these. And apparently, I haven't actually been and watched the video yet. I'm going to go and watch it later, see if she's done something that I missed or that I didn't think of. Because she's the only other person I've seen do something like this so far, or heard about. She coloured in one side and then used this side as an art journal page. Whereas I've done it slightly differently. I've incorporated the design into the art journal page. Because I didn't like the background on this anyway. And if I wanted to, you know, I could always go and cut out bits of somewhere else, like this. you know, this is really nice. I could take some of that and put it around here if I wanted to. So you can cut up other bits of the book. Oh, I've got to take my cardie off, it's gone warm. The heating must have come on. Yeah, you can cut up any other bits of the book, or, you know, if you cut out her and put her on another page, you could keep the background and use it somewhere else as collage. So just working outside the idea of these are pictures in a colouring book and you colour them in. That's all. I just thought it'd be fun. And to stop the pages coming out, I just stuck them down with a bit of washi tape. So yeah, this, sorry, I was telling Claire about the book. This is the original steampunk one. This is probably the one you'd prefer, because it's male and female and lots of technical stuff. So it's got like balloons and things. And lots of mechanicals and stuff. And then this one is all fashion, so it's all females as well. I don't know why it's females, just because it's fashion, but it's all fashion pieces, and it's a little bit less, it's not less steampunk, it's more diverse. This is all traditional Victorian style steampunk, male and female. This is like, you know, she's more gothic Lolita with steampunk. She's Victorian. She's like Gangster's Mole, you know, Wild West kind of girl. She's quite traditional. Futuristic one, 1940s. There's some that are like deco art style. So, you know, these are very diverse in here. Modern, 20s. Pirate. Another 20s art deco kind of, she almost looks like she's got a flying jacket and goggles for like Amelia Earhart type. So these are very, very diverse. Whereas these ones are very traditional Victorian style, male and female ones. But they're both very good and they're very cheap on Amazon, so I suggest you get both, Claire, because you love steampunk. If you like steampunk, get both. So I haven't finished this page yet. I got to the point at the end of last show where I wasn't sure where I wanted to go with it. This is all collage pieces. I collaged her head in and I drew the rest of her in. And now I'm not quite sure what I want to do next with it. I know I want to finish her outfit, but that's a lot of fussy painting and detailed work that you can't see on stream. There's no point in me streaming it because you won't see it. So I might just do it in my downtime when I can concentrate on it and just show you photos on Instagram like I've been doing. So that's what we did earlier. And then this is what I was going to do this afternoon. I'll just do another quick flip through. I know the girls were here earlier, I've already seen these, but these were done on a stream. And then I started just putting bits in that I liked. So I just really like this picture and all the orbs and things, and I liked this. So I threw it in, and I'll figure out what to do with it later. I'm not working right the way through the book. A lot of people with these kind of books, they're just like loads and loads and loads of pages all going at once. I've got a few pages going, all in different stages of development, but I'm not doing all the backgrounds and then all the collage and then all this and all that. I'm kind of working on each page, but as I come across something that I think, oh, that could work, needs to be on another page, then I'll do that. So this one, these all have working titles as well. She doesn't have a working title yet, but this does. This is called Vision Questioning. This is the one I want to work on today. This is the Mind Palace of the Prussian wolf. Don't ask where these names come from, okay? They just come to me as I'm working on it. This is what I'm going to work on in a minute, so I'll show you that in more detail in a sec. This is the Chair of the Punk Rock Prince. I don't know. Just don't know, okay? The Demon of Time versus Secondhand Books. This is meant to be like a sky stairway, but I haven't put the detail in. I drew it how I wanted it to be, and then I found this collage last night and I thought, that works, and I put it down, but I haven't put the detail on it yet. That sounds like a Harry Potter title. This is something that I've put together that I love hallways and repeated images like this, where they go off into, and I love crazy images like that. I don't even know what that's supposed to be, but it's cool. And I really like her. I want to draw her on this page, using her as a reference, and then I'll probably use her as collage later in the book, because what I'm doing with this book is I want to create some paintings, and not all of them will end up as paintings. I want to create some bigger paintings, and I want to use this book as the sketch for it. So create the collage. Let's pretend this one's finished, okay? Pretend it's finished. And what I want to do now with it is treat it as the sketch for a bigger painting. So the bigger painting will be all painted. No collage, no nothing, just painting. So the fact that she's a magazine image makes no difference, because I'll draw her in as a face and colour her and paint her, and she won't look like that when I draw her, if that makes sense. So yeah, it doesn't matter that I use her as a reference or stick her in the book. This is the Wibbly Wobbly World of Time, and this was inspired by Dee Dee, because she was doing something with clocks where it was like she had a clock and then she had the pieces of the clock coming out, almost like it had been, you know that bit in Tomb Raider? The Eye of the Storm, and they put it in the sand and it stops in time. Yeah, that was where I was going with it. Yes, anonymous people. Don't be anonymous. Don't be shy. Come and join us. If I remember correctly, you can log into chat with Twitter, Facebook, Google+, just an email address, and also you can create a Ustream account if you want to. You can log in with any of those things. So do come and join us. Although I understand it's a bit difficult to chat apparently on the Ustream app. So. And we figured out earlier that anybody who's got weird numbers after their name is using the app or watching mobile. And it allocates you a strange number. We don't know why that is. But yes, do come and join us. Then we've got Akasha and the Muse. And then this morning I pulled these out because I kind of want to add some gold tones to this. I'm kind of going for a blue and orange and gold theme. Ish. And kind of East meets West meets modern meets ancient meets everything. Well, she's Indian. This is Chinese pottery. This is Japanese pottery. This is Flemish. Was it Flemish? Where's the other bit I had? It tells me on the back. Florentine, sorry. Florentine. Inlaid desktop things. No, you've still got a weird number. Well, I can see the weird number anyway. Yeah, and then I've got obviously medieval stained glass windows, and then we've got, this doesn't look medieval to me, this looks more like Mucha-esque. And he's not medieval, is he? Alphonse Mucha, he's like deco art, isn't he? 1920s. Yeah. There you go. Oh, look, that looks like the the heraldry. Look at that. Neo-Gothic, the heraldic stained glass in the upper lights of the mullioned windows of Chirk Castle's Cromwell Hall, installed by A.W. Pugin in the 1840s when he remade the room in the Gothic Revival style, full stop. Talk about a run-on sentence. But it looks like the, doesn't it look like the Harry Potter heralds? Or am I imagining that? You can't see the colours very well, but that one's red and gold. That's Gryffindor. That one's got 2 ravens on it, on a yellow background. On a blue background, sorry. So that would be Ravenclaw. We've got a green stripe and silver, which is Slytherin, with I think it's a dragon head. And then the blue and yellow for Hufflepuff. Does that not look like Harry Potter? Anyway. Might have to rescue that. Maybe I can do something, I don't know. Anyway. And then don't ask me what I'm doing with this. I just suddenly had this crazy idea yesterday after like 12 hours of painting and sticking and all sorts of crazy stuff to do whatever the hell this is. So this was all one piece originally. It's like a double bed. So that's the headboard, and then this is the valance, and then this is the bottom of the bed. But I cut it up and I stuck it on the pages, and then I tore the pages off because I thought, hey, that sounds like fun. And then this is the bit I tore off of here. I thought, well, that bit's big enough. I could put that there like that and stick that bit on it. And then I don't know what I'm going to go with that because obviously I could stick this one in. And then it can be like little book pages like that. Or it could be, if I stuck these down, it could be like, you know, little tucky things into stuff. Can't see the chat on your iMac. Oh, you need the new Flash player. The new Mac-enabled Flash player. I had the same problem with my Mac. I couldn't see the chat either. But I can now. So you need to update your Adobe Flash player to the new one. And you might have to download Chrome to do that. Depends how old your version of Safari is. My version of Safari, I can't use it. It doesn't play Flash properly. Or not Flash chat. It plays videos, but it doesn't play Flash like this properly. So I had to install Chrome to use it. If that's any help. Anyway, yeah. I don't know where I'm going with this one yet. It was just a mad idea I had very late at night when I thought, hey, this would be a good idea. And I just started ripping and tearing and this happened. Blade! Hello, peoples! I miss coming to your shows, mister. They seem to get later and later. I get notifications for your shows at like 4 o'clock in the morning when I'm just going to bed. They used to come through at midnight or something. And now I get them at 5 o'clock and I'm like, no, I need to sleep. So anyway, that's what I've been doing in this one. This is just, like I say, this is all sketches for paintings that I want to do, but I'm doing them as collage-y, drawing-y type, painterly type things. So This one started out with the drawing of the girl. I was just testing the paper and my pen. And I didn't test whether my pen was waterproof. I think this was waterproof pen, but let me just double check. Yeah, I must have done this with my carbon ink pen, I think. So yeah, I scribbled her in and I liked her, so I kept her. And then I had these wolves and I thought I really like those, so I put them in. And then I drew the rest of the wolf in. As you can see, I drew the rest of his head in. Yesterday I was going through and I found this and I really liked it. It kind of, I'm not quite sure what it reminds me of, but kind of oldie worldy Eastern European type stuff. Oh, yeah, because you don't stream at midnight, do you? The only way I would get it at like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning is if you were streaming at midnight, and I'm sure you don't. I'm sure it used to be like 8 or 9 o'clock for me. Weird. But yeah, I miss coming along to your shows, but I never seem to get the notifications in time. But then I don't get notifications for some people at all. I only ever get notifications for you and Dee Dee. Nobody else ever comes up. I don't know why. So, weird. Where was I? Yeah, she kind of was going in a kind of Eastern European, Turkish, Persian kind of, that kind of area. Middle Ages type. And then I found this. This is an old doll's house, a very, very ornate old doll's house. It's an old doll's house that I tore up and put on there. And then this is a piece of a ceiling and the top of the doll's house. And just the way it looked, it kind of reminded me of the pictures of Vlad Dracul with his hat. And obviously he wasn't Persian or Prussian, but for some reason Prussian is the name that came to mind. So he became a Prussian wolf. There you go. I don't know. That's kind of where it was aimed at. Well, it wasn't aimed at. That's what happened. So I want to paint in the rest of the wolf. And then I want to use these really soft colours. So there's a lot of black. There's grey. There's very dusky pink. Lovely soft green. Kind of a sage green. A very soft browny grey, like in the wolf's coat. There's a darker pink up here and a darker green with creams and golds. Lots of gold over here, obviously. Gold in his eyes, gold on his muzzle. And then I was using bits and pieces this morning and I found this and I used the parrot from this, but I kind of thought maybe we could use this on her hat somewhere. Or if we can't, we can use the other side of it because this is all the colours that I was looking at. So unfortunately, this is all based on colour, and you can't. Sorry, I'm trying to watch chat and stream and talk. You can't see the colours very well on the stream. Although this one is actually showing up very well because they're very washed out colours. So, where do I want to start with this? I think what I want to start with, I wanted to do the background in black on this one, so maybe I'll start with that. And then I'll be able to judge what contrast colour I want for the rest of it. So, and there's not much in the way of fussy painting on this either because it's just general outlines. So it'll be nice and easy to do. Move this out of the way. De black. Wo is de black? Oh, there it is. Ugh. Yeah, Blade streams on Thursdays, don't you, Blade? black. And this is my Americana paints. I'm a deco art helping artist these days, and I've got some Americana paints to play with. Amongst other things, I've also got some glow-in-the-dark paint, which if any of you have seen the horror film The Orphan, although I didn't think it was a horror film, I thought it was hilariously funny, especially the end. But The Orphan, where she paints the pictures and then under black light, they've got all these weird things on them where it's glow-in-the-dark paint. I thought that would be kind of cool to do on a painting. Let me grab a bit of coffee. Okay. I need a bigger paintbrush than that. Where's my other paintbrush? I know I've got a bigger one than that somewhere. That's not it. That's definitely not it. That's the one I was looking for earlier. Am I going to have to sacrifice one of my watercolour paintbrushes? I hope not. I don't seem to have any medium-sized acrylic brushes left. They've all gone AWOL. I've got lots of little ones. I'll use my glue brush like I did this morning. Is there rum in my coffee? No. That's my coffee from this morning. I'm still drinking it. Well, lunchtime anyway. There probably should be rum in my coffee. So I'm just going to put a nice... Ooh, more water in that. I'm just going to put a layer of black over this bit. I'm not going to get too fussy about it, I just want a general outline. Do him down there like that. Did you all see my I was going to say self-portrait, but that's not it, is it? Because I didn't do it myself. My my blade portrait. The artistic biker drew me. I'm honoured. I shared it on my page earlier on Facebook. I'm liking the way this black is pulling out the colour. Let me think. How do I want him? It's good to be there. Maybe. Let's just do it about there for now. I want to put in the body of the wolf, but I'm not sure exactly where he's going to go. So. I do. You're only about the third person to draw me, you know. I've had a couple of students draw me. And it's funny, but almost everybody goes for the same picture. I don't know if that's because it's a clear picture or because they're scared of having to draw my pink hair. I don't know what I'm going to do with her hat yet, so I'm just going to paint around the collage bits. I'll fussy about with that later. My mat that I'm using here as a palette and under here is actually a cake mat. It's exactly the same as a craft mat, except it's silicone, so it's soft and rubbery, so you can actually draw on it and write on it quite easily with one sheet of paper. But also it's got a rubberized silicone edge, so it doesn't slip, doesn't go anywhere, like literally doesn't go anywhere. I've got a Tim Holtz craft mat and it's like a slip and slide. Drives me crazy. And you can't tape it down because guess what? It's non-stick. But these are non-stick, but they don't slip and slide. So I got this on eBay, and if you watch the previous video, I gave the information for where I found it. It was actually an eBay find. Claire, I've got you one. I've got you the big one. Because I actually saved money by buying them in a bulk set, but I only need one big one and one medium one. So I've got a big one for you and a small one for Foxy, because she has less space on her desk than we do. But it's fab because it doesn't slide about. And trying to find a mat that doesn't slide about is quite hard, actually. It's harder than you'd think it would be, but I found it in the cake making section. Okie doke. A bit more over here. That didn't go on very evenly. Sometimes I find with these Americana paints, whoops, sometimes it doesn't go on evenly where the matte medium is. And I think that's just because it's craft paint, it's not proper acrylic paint. Well, it is acrylic paint, but it's only craft grade. It's not like normal acrylic paint would just paint over matte medium, but this kind of resists it a little bit. You kind of have to do a little bit, a second coat. But you don't have to do it all over, just the bits that you had a bit too much matte medium on. Okay. Woo woo. What are we woo wooing about? Oh, because I got you a craft mat. I got a bit of a lag on my chat. Okie doke. I'm not quite sure about that wolf. What am I? I know. I know. Let's find a reference picture. I want it facing the other way, don't I? Have a quick look. I'm not going to show all of this because it's got some not so nice looking stuff going on in some of the pictures. Let's find one with a similar sort of head tilt. Huh. He's got a similar kind of look. So, whoops. Yeah, let's knock the camera over. That's awesome. That's a fab idea. Smart one. Okay. Right. Just looking at the reference picture and this and the reference picture. Okay. I don't think I can fit these both on the desk, but I'll try. There we go. So it's a squiffy angle, but you'll have to deal with that. There's no other room on the desk. This one is a similar angle. So that's what I want to look for. So I'm going to get some white to mix with my black to make grey. Oh, you learn so much in my classes, I tell you. You're coming down to mine next weekend, Claire. It's art journal weekend at Romany's. Tracy's coming, aren't you, Trace? Yeah, why are we doing Black Friday? I don't know. I can understand online shops doing Black Friday because, you know, a lot of online shops, especially Etsy shops and stuff, have American customers. But why is Asda doing Black Friday? Seriously, people. So I've just got a bit of a grey going on. And I'm just going to, so the ears go up like that. Hi, Maddie. And then come down, and they're quite wide. And then his face goes out that way. And then it's almost like a diamond shape that way. Maddie, what are you crying for, Bubby? Why are you crying, my love? Oh, no, sweet pea. What's the matter? Hi, baby. You're not getting enough attention. Quick, everybody give Maddie a belly rub. Yeah, come to Rose for an art journal weekend. You should get on your bike and ride about, Blade. Like that. Have you seen that Australian chap who goes around visiting all sorts of artists all over Australia? Okay, so that comes around there like that. It's kind of furry, and then that bit is his shoulder there. And then on this side, his ears coming out that way. There. And that comes out that way. Maddie, what's the matter, my love? And that comes out, that's furry there. And that's going to be furry there, and it comes back in there. And down around his face. And then this goes off up over there somewhere. Ha! That makes more sense. Okay. So his back goes off up over there somewhere. Let's do that in a slightly different colour. That's better. So his head's coming around this way. And we can just paint this bit in. And obviously his head won't be this small. He's got lots of fluffy fur, but that'll come up over his over the background. So it, you know, it'll come out, if you know what I mean. So his head won't be this small. It's just I'm getting the main bulk of his head, and then he'll have bits of fur coming out of his head that comes out over the black background and over where his body is. This paintbrush isn't quite big enough, but I don't know where my next one up is. I think I need some more paintbrushes. Santa, bring me some more paintbrushes. Santa, bring me some treacles. Is that what you're doing? Ah, that's what you need to do. That'd be really cool, that would. And no, I'm not worried about getting paint on my book, this book, because this book I mentioned earlier, this was given to me by my grandmother, and it was brand new then, so I had it about 1989, 1990. It's sentimental value for various reasons, but I swear in the entire time I've had it, I've maybe picked it up half a dozen times and looked through it. I read through it when I got it, but since then I've looked at it maybe half a dozen times, but I don't want to get rid of it because it's sentimental value. So I thought what I could do was take some of the pictures out and use them in my art journals. So I'm repurposing it, or I might even do it like a magazine journal where you, oh, look at that, isn't it beautiful? Where you keep some of the picture but not all of it. I don't know. There's an awful lot of writing in it, so it might not be suitable for something like that. And it's glossy paper, so it's not the best for an altered book. Okay. So it's going to have white bits coming down here, there. I'm just sketching this in, obviously. I hope that's obvious. White bits around here. He's got a darker section up there. Ooh. A little bit more paint. He's got a, I think his ear needs to be a bit bigger that side. He's got a darker section there, a darker section there going out around his white bit, a darker section coming down here and back in. His white bit goes over that as well. And then he's got a darker piece around the bottom of his mouth there, and a darker section there, and the odd dark tuft in various places. I'm going to need some clean water in a minute. That's the problem with starting with black. You need clean water very quickly. Oh, hi Scoob. Okay. So that white is going to come out over that black there like that. Same on this side. He's got a little bit of white under his chin there. That needs blending in. I'm going to give him a little bit more white around his eyes there. Got some white tufts in his ears. Around there. And then this ear needs making a bit bigger, so it needs to be a bit more that kind of shape. Like that, and then up and round and there, like that. There we go, that's better. So he's got white tufts in the middle there. He's got a darker section across the top and around the outside and around the inside of this ear. There we go. So we've got our wolf sketched in. I'll probably have to refer back to that later if I want to do some detail, but I actually want to go and colour her first. Ew, stinky dirty water. I'm going to have to go and wash that out. Hi off, Blade. Okay, thanks for joining us. Hopefully I'll make it to one of your streams. Maybe they'll tell me that they're on before they start at some point. Do you keep getting booted? I wonder if it's ads. I wonder if you're getting booted when the ads happen. I don't get booted on mine. Are you watching it on the tablet? You've got the same tablet as me, haven't you? I don't get booted on my tablet. Right, I've just got to go and change my stinky water because it's all black. 1 second. Keep them entertained, Maddie. I'll be back in a second. Right then. There we go. Hi, baby. Oh, Miss Maddie. She's looking most sorry for herself. I think it's because she can't come on camera today. You can't come on camera, darling. They can't see you on that camera. Come on, sweet pea, come sit with Mummy. 3.99 for no ads. Is that $3.99 a month, or just $3.99? I think if you pay $3.99 for the app and you don't get ads, that's not too bad. But if it's $3.99 a month or something, that's ridiculous. Firefox ad blocker, yeah. Can't use that on a tablet though. Ooh. I ripped my thumbnail off earlier. Look how low my thumbnail's gone. It's really sore. It didn't sting till I just washed my hands. Okay. I need to do her face, but I want to do her. I don't want to do her in traditional flesh tones. I want to do her in slightly kind of coffee-like colours. Oops. $3.99 a month? No, I wouldn't pay that. I mean, it's only £2, but dude. A little bit darker. It's a highlight flesh tone, but I want a. What one's this one? So this is light mocha. Where's the dark mocha I was using earlier? There we go. There's the dark mocha that goes with it. This is a highlight, but it's a pinky tone. That'll do for now. We'll see how we get on with those. The colour blending is exactly the same principle with acrylic as it is with watercolour or anything else. Colour theory is colour theory, but the way the paint reacts is different. So it's the paint reactions that are a little bit different that I'm trying to learn, I guess. So what I'm going to do is start with a medium tone. Oops, I always forget to add a little bit of water. It spreads better with water because obviously acrylic is meant to go over gesso, but I don't use gesso. Who's got time for that, right? So I'm just going to put this all over her main areas. And then we'll go in with some shading afterwards. I would prefer to use a filbert type brush, which is a rounded version of this, but if you were watching the other week, you'll know that my filbert fell apart. Dear Santa, I need new brushes. I'm going to paint over a necklace because I can paint that back in later. And I'm not worried about going into her hair either because I can paint that back in as well. Oh, can you see? You can't see what I'm doing. No, it's completely flashing out, isn't it? Marvellous. Hopefully it'll look better once I get some shading on it. Oh no, I can't see what I'm doing. Do I have to hold it like that so you can see it? It's probably flashing out because of the black. Never mind. You'll just have to bear with it while I get some colour on her. So what are you doing while you're watching? Are you painting along? Are you watching and chilling? So far, pretty happy with how these paints are blending. They're a lot easier to blend out than any other craft paints I've used, so that's pretty impressive. They can be a little bit stodgy, but if you add water, like just a damp brush, they're kind of, they're a bit better. If that makes sense. They're a bit stodgy consistency for paper, just for painting directly onto paper. Hi, baby. Okay. I'm going to need a darker colour. They're all restless because they want to go out and play in the snow, even though there's hardly any snow left. So they go running outside and then they're like, yeah, let's go and play in the... Oh, it's gone. This is annoying. You can't see what I'm doing because it's flashing out. There, she's got a bit of colour, look. You didn't get any snow, Claire. You're further north than we are. We had 4 inches last night. Okay, I'm going to need a darker brown. I don't want to go too dark, but I will need a darker colour. You got 4+ inches over in... Oh, I don't know where you are, actually. Carrie got 8 inches last night, they said, over in Illinois. And it was still falling. Okay, let's see if I can get some of this detail back in so you can see her. I want it to be quite dark complexion. I don't want it to be Caucasian, but I don't want it to be too dark either, if that makes sense. I believe for the effect I'm going for, I'm looking for olive skinned as opposed to dark skinned or whatever. I can't think and paint at the same time. I can think and teach at the same time, but I can't think and paint at the same time. That's a step too far. Oh, Miss Maddie. What? You can't play in the snow. The snow's gone. No, the snow's gone, darling. Come on. What? You should see her. She's sitting right in the middle of the room, staring at me like, come on, Mum. I want to go play in the snow. There is no snow, Miss Maddie. It's all gone, look. I know you don't believe me, but it is. It's all gone. I wish this was showing up. It's really annoying. I might have to work on something else, not her face. See, there is shading there. I promise. I don't know why it's flashing out like that. Maybe I need to... I wonder if I turn one of the lights off, if that will help. Hang on. Hello, Miss Maddie. Hi, baby. Hi. Yeah, we'll snuggle later, I promise. Mummy's working right now. Is that better? Can you see what I'm doing now? It'll be too dark for the rest of the page, but... Yeah, if Florida gets snow, we're all in trouble. Is that better? Can you see what I'm doing now? See, she's actually quite dark-skinned. I want to get some pink tones in there before she starts to look too sallow. As you can tell, I'm not an expert with acrylic. I'm just applying the same principles that I use for watercolour to say, okay, if I mix this medium colour with this not quite medium colour, it won't be as dark. And then pushing and pulling the boundaries until it blends together, basically. No idea what I'm doing with acrylics. I'm not an acrylic artist. I'm a watercolour artist. Everything's backwards. Let's get rid of the part where she looks like she's got a beard, shall we? It is better with the that light off. Okay. There you go. You can kind of see if I do it like that. There you go. See, I am actually blending the colours. I'm not just putting a blob here and a blob there. Put a bit of a highlight across there because she looks like she's got a tash. Okay, there we go. How's that? Yeah, if I tilt it away from the light, it's better, isn't it? But the minute you do that, it flashes out. Yeah, we thought you'd gone quiet, Claire. Okay, so I want my thin brush now. I'm putting some eyebrows. A few bits of definition. I can't see what I'm doing. Shh, 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 shh. What are you crying about, my love? Are you bored, baby? Miss Maddie's bored. Goodness me, what is the world coming to? I actually can still see the words, pen underneath, so I can actually still see where her nose should be and stuff. So just in case you thought I was being really clever and painting blind, I'm totally not. It's just I can see stuff on here that you can't. If I hold it that way, I'm trying to show you what I'm doing without. Here we go. Not looking too bad. Need a little bit of definition around her eyes. But I'll probably go in and put that in with pencil, to be honest. Colour pencil over the top of this will work nicely. Now, I want a pinky colour. What kind of pink? That's buttermilk. I don't want that. That's a bit too pink. Maybe if that's possible. Okay, what's that? Coral. More coral. That's more of a colour I want. Coral and mocha. I think that's sage again. I think that's the colours I want. You can't see the colours in this, it's terrible. Hang on. Because it's so light, you can't see the actual colours I'm using. Let's see if this works better. Now, of course, I'm going to be casting a big shadow over the page because the light's behind me. Oh, sorry, baby girl. I didn't mean to kick you, darling. I'm sorry, baby. But you can see the colours now, at least. So that's the colours that I'm going with. Oh, coffee. What time are we on? Crikey, we're almost up to an hour and a half already. Oh, hi Cynthia, I didn't see you sneak in. She's only been here 20 minutes, you know. Is that okay, even though it's got a shadow on it from where I'm sitting? Actually, that's better, isn't it? You can see the colours on this one better now. This is going to flash out now because it's... Oh, lighting. Goodness me. The lighting is much better on YouTube. But never mind. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do is mix the dark brown with a touch of that pink. No, that sounds weird. Trust me. Predominantly dark brown with a touch of pink and what kind of auburny sort of colour I think would look nice, because that will bring out the pink up here and the gold tones and red tones in him. So I think this kind of russety auburn colour would be quite nice. There we go. Of course, it's probably not going to show up russety pink on camera, but it's almost the same colour as the pink, the pinky brown in that. So really, colours on Ustream are dreadful, but they want like $200 to be able to use the professional software, and something like $99 a month or something to use the professional streaming with HD and everything. YouTube is free, so don't know. They both have their pros and cons. I mean, YouTube, you can do all sorts of fancy stuff with multiple cameras and images, and you can have HD and everything else, but that's no use. You only just noticed we were on Ustream instead of YouTube. Wow. Hi, Sin. Did you just wake up? Yeah, they both have their pros and cons, but you know, being able to have multiple camera angles and do fancy things and add music and all that is all very well, but if you can't see the video because it's not streaming properly, it's no use, is it? So, I don't know. Whoops. I'm not sure if my neighbours are cheering on a football team or having a really big slanging match. But there's something noisy going on. I suppose they could have been around a party or something. What night? What day is it? Oh, you just click the link. Oh, right, okay. Well, this morning's problem was supposed to be I thought it was the provider. There was loads of problems, but when I spoke to them, they said, no, that's all to do with email. That shouldn't be causing problems with streaming anything. So I don't know, maybe the problem was with YouTube. But even on a normal stream, I have loads of problems with it, that it keeps dropping out and my software keeps overheating my computer and stuff like that. Whereas I haven't had any of that with this yet. Touch wood. Cable Claire, hi. Like I say, I'm going to do some more pre-recorded videos on YouTube. It's just that at the moment I'm having to use the new version of iMovie because my old version has stopped doing stills for no apparent reason. And it's a known problem, and Apple have known about it for about 2 years and they've still not done anything about it, and it's gradually creeping across everybody who upgrades. So that's quite annoying. So I'm having to use the new iMovie, and the new iMovie is awful. I do have a copy of Final Cut Pro, but I haven't got that far as playing with that yet. Well, I've played with it a few times, but it's very complicated for what I want to do. The beauty of the old iMovie, it was like the one you used to have on Microsoft, the old original video software before it went to live. It just worked. It was simple. It did this stuff. It did stuff. And that's all you needed it to do, and it did it without any problems. And then they messed it up and made it fancy, and now it doesn't work at all. Similar thing. Touch wood. Knock on wood here. Oh, right. Well, it depends where you are. So some of us say knock on wood, some of us say touch wood. Touch wood is more common for me. My arm's from down south, see? Claire's going mobile, is she? Okay, so she needs there we go. No, there we go. Ta-da. Oh, she modded herself, isn't she clever? She's obviously done this before. Now I know it seems a bit odd, but I'm going to use this same brown for her lips for now. I can always make them a bit pinker later, but I just want to get a little bit of colour. Because what I find is if I don't put colour everywhere, it starts to look too stark, and then I can't figure out how much difference there is, if you know what I mean. I can't figure out the contrast if I have big patches of white. And I've got the hiccups again. I think I'm going to bring her... Oops, running out of paint. Honestly, I'm such a skinflint. I've got like massive tubs of paint here that I can use. And rather than pour out more paint, I'm scraping it up off the paper. Come on, use your paints. There's plenty more in the shop. She's pretty. Thank you. She is quite pretty. I like her. Yeah. It's hard to tell sometimes. You've got to be able to think ahead. See, I know what I'm going to do with it once I've got words. I know what it's going to look like once I've got some pencil on there. I can envisage what it's going to look like because I know what my next steps. I know what my next step's going to be. Whereas you don't, obviously, because you're not me. You're not inside my head. And honestly, it's quite amazing that I know what my next step is going to be with it. Stop chewing! Don't you huff at me? No, don't huff at me. I said don't huff at me. You're like a teenager, you are. It's because on Saturdays, park time is a little delayed. Because Mummy's working. It's warmer there than in your art room. God, but it's cold where you are. Because you're in like a factory type setting, aren't you? Ugh. Colouring books and cats. Oh, well, you're all right then. Yeah, I can envisage what's coming next and you can't because you're not in my head. She is a teenager, I know. She is such a teenager. And she literally does huff at me. It's not like earlier when she was in the background snoring. Oh, so funny. Right, I'm just going to tidy up this bit around the bottom now, which is easier said than done because it's black on black. Well, that's a bit silly, isn't it? Don't want to do black on black. Let's mix a bit of mocha in with it, make it kind of a brownish grey. That's better. Because if you do it black, we won't be able to see her against the black background, will we? Duh. Oh dear. Plus it matches the wolf then. He's got kind of a russety colour going on. And then this bit can be a bit darker. Sign-ups for When Frogs Sing are still open, by the way. Somebody asked me about that. I've been so busy, I haven't taken down the Halloween special. So if you wanted to sign up, and you do it before I manage to get over and take down the Halloween offer, you can get the writing and planning classes free. Oh. Right. Oh, rain. It's awful, isn't it? It's so... Oh, it's so historically inaccurate, it's frightening. I mean, the Tudors was basically not too bad. They cut a few bits out that didn't really matter, but it was reasonably historically accurate for what it was, and they embellished it a bit. But Reign, it's just like they took these two queens and they just completely made up the story. They took two historical characters and just completely made up what happened. It's like, it's very weird, but it is very good. I can't stop watching it either. Even though I'm sat there most of the time going, that didn't happen, that's not right. It's better. Okay. Oh, it's been a long time since I've had a chance to just sit down and paint for 3 days. It's nice. I miss it. I spend most of my time teaching these days, or editing YouTube videos. I was saying this morning that my parents came on Wednesday and was just having a day off where I literally didn't do any art work. I mean, I painted, but I didn't do any work, as in teaching or anything like that. And it just kind of all hit me at once, and I was like, oh my god, I am so burnt out. So I took a couple of days, and I spent Thursday watching serial killer documentaries, as I do. And then I spent yesterday, just suddenly got this urge to paint. And what I've discovered is that because acrylic is, once it's dry and it's not going anywhere. So when you put a wet coat of acrylic over a dry coat of acrylic, you can go back in with a little bit of water and kind of blend it over the top, almost as if it's watercolour. Your guilty pleasure is the Royals. What's the Royals? I don't know what that is. I'm not very down with the kids when it comes to TV. I'm I don't watch a lot of TV. I'm a Netflix girl. If it's not on Netflix or YouTube, I really don't watch it. And sometimes if it is on Netflix or YouTube, I don't watch it either. There we go, that's a bit better. A little less manly now. The Royals. I don't know what the Royals is. Am I being dim? I need another bit of tissue. What do you reckon? Right. That's better. That's that side of her nose again. That's the third time I've painted it out. I had to do it again. I'll just do it in pencil. Bored of that now. Oh, it's a US show. Not heard of it. Oh, definitely not heard of it. Elizabeth Hurley. I'm struggling a bit with getting her nose to blend the way I want it to. But I'm just kind of getting it close enough, and then I'll go in with pencils over the top and define it the way I want it to be. I love these mats. These are awesome. Oh. Oh, it's on Amazon Prime. Oh, Martin's got Amazon Prime. I might have to try it. Or just get him to watch a couple of episodes. He'll tell me if I'll like it or not. He knows what I watch. It sounds like I probably wouldn't, though. just by the title, it sounds like the kind of thing I wouldn't watch. I like Criminal Minds and true crime detective stuff and things like that. Right, I'm just going to dry this. I've got... noisy heat gun. Okie dokie. Let's get out my... Ooh, my hands have gone dry. That happens when I'm working with paint and water and stuff. I think I'll use my Derwent colour pencils that I got, my portrait colours. That's better. I start watching loads of series and I get like 8 or 9 episodes in, and then I just stop watching it. You know, I watched like a season and a half of Grimm. I've watched about 5 episodes of Sleepy Hollow. I've watched about 7 episodes of Supernatural, and I'm just like, you know, what was my inspiration for this? I'd already just stuck down. I actually talked about it at the beginning, so you might want to watch the replay later just to catch the bit where I talked about how I put it together. But basically, I drew the girl, and then I had these wolves, and I stuck those down because. And then I drew in the wolf in pencil just to get an idea of what I wanted to happen, and then I just found these bits and collaged them in. There's no real, oh, I'm going to do this, you know, it's just, you know, I drew the girl because I was trying out my pen on the new paper when I got the journal, and then I just stuck the wolves down. I can't get into Sleepy Hollow. Martin's been watching it. He's just watched the episode where Bones and Booth turned up again, apparently. Now, see, Bones I really enjoyed, right up until the point where they decided to get married and have a kid, and it all went to pot. And now I don't understand it. It's like a comedy show now. Whereas I liked it before when it was like science. Right, this is my... Not that one. This is my Derwent Colorsofts. These are wax, but they're not as soft as Prismacolor. But I thought the best way to test them would be to get the 6-pack of portrait colours. Plus I've got a black, a white and a yellow ochre. So I thought that would be a good place to start. Because I'm desperately looking for something waxy to replace my Prismacolors with, because Prismacolor Premiers are doing my head in. So as and when I need to replace my colours, I don't want to buy Prismacolor Premiers. And then I've got the Luminants this is the Caran d'Ache Luminants. These are expensive. They're not as expensive here as they are in the States, but they're still eye-wateringly expensive. Interestingly, it says it's a permanent colour. I don't know if that just means it's light fast, but it says permanent colour and light fast. So I don't know. I don't know what that means. What's permanent colour mean? Non-erasable, maybe? But all colour pencils are non-erasable, so that's a bit stupid. But yeah, I only bought the white in this to test it and see if it's anything like the Prismacolor white, because the Faber-Castell one definitely isn't, and the Derwent one isn't as soft as the Prismacolor white. So I'm going to go in with a medium brown. The thing I love about these pencils is the point you can get on them. Look at that point. You could stab somebody with that. They don't stay sharp as long as the Faber-Castells do, but they do stay sharp quite well. So they're a little bit softer than the Faber-Castells, but not quite as soft as Prismacolors. So I'm just going to get her facial features back in where I want them. No, that's too light. After all that, I want the darker brown. So I'm not really colouring at the moment, I'm just sketching, because I want to get her colours back in there. Oops. Sorry, I'm trying to keep my shadow over her face so you can see what I'm doing. Lots of noise going on next door. I don't know why. Oh, that's not quite in the middle. It does sound like they could be having a party. Have you all gone to sleep on me? Am I talking to myself? Are you all working on your colouring books? Is that why? I'm quite liking these colour softs. They're nice over acrylic paint. The real test for me will be whether I like them over watercolour. But I'm liking them over the acrylic. They're smooth. Ooh, and they smudge over the acrylic. I like that. You're colouring in, are you, Claire? Okay. I thought you'd gone quiet. It was either that or you're still in shock over those topless matadors on Strictly. Tracy's gone very quiet. I think she might be having a nap. What kind of a creamy colour? I don't have many colours. Oh, that'll do. There we go. That'll work. I can see me getting a few more colours in these colour softs. Or at the very least replacing my... Tracy's awake just. Is it past your bedtime, Trace? Because it's gone 8 o'clock, you know. Yeah, I may well as my Prismacolors start running out, start replacing them with some of these Colorsofts. These are actually really nice to use. They feel lovely in your hand, under your hand. You know, like some pencils can feel gritty. Ah, Cable Claire's knitting. I'm going to do some crochet after this, I think. Miss Maddie needs a winter jumper. Bless her. She needs a snuggly jumper. So I need to get crocheting. Okay, I think the jury's back. Next door are either killing each other or they're having a party. I think her nose is looking a bit lopsided. I might have got a bit out of hand there. Might need slimming down a bit. There we go. That's better. Making fingerless gloves with a robot on. Oh, cool. I don't know what it is about that effect, but I really like it. That kind of dolly look where you've got the circular cheeks. Even on more realistic portraits, I kind of like it. You need fingerless gloves, do you? Hint, hint. Okay. Oh, I can't see what I'm doing now. I'm just trying to straighten her nose up here a little bit. I've got it going a bit wonky. That's better. And I'm not smooth blending this like I normally would. I'm just kind of almost sketching over the top of the acrylics. I'm just liking the look of it and the feel of it. I like it being kind of a little bit rough. Normally I like the ultra smooth look, but I'm kind of liking how this is coming out. So well, I might blend it in a little bit more as I go, but I'm kind of liking the effect of not blending it as much as I normally would, if that makes sense. The fact that I can't really see what I'm doing because I'm virtually working in the dark so that you can see what I'm doing is not helping. you know, if there's any issues with it, I can fix it tomorrow in daylight. Let's use cream. White will be too stark. They do blend nicely, these. I'm enjoying these. I'll have to try one that's just pencil and see how they cope with just pencil on its own on that paper. They don't blend as smoothly as Prismacolors, obviously, but you know, as blending goes, they're not too bad. A bit of pink. Woo. I need a colour kind of between the pink and the brown. I don't really have one, so I'm going to pull out my good old grey lavender, which is possibly the one colour Prisma colour I could not live without, because I don't think anybody else does this grey lavender colour. And I use this on just about everything. Oops. Somebody was just asking about Zest It this morning. Someone was, who was it? Claire B, I think, was asking me if I'd tried Zest It. You can use blending pen, an alcohol blending pen, like you get with Pro Markers, with a wax pencil, and that blends really nicely. But you need to be careful. You need about 4 of them, because you need to use different colours with different blenders with different colours, and you have to keep them clean. Zest It, I wouldn't use Zest It, because it would leave a pool around the outside. If you go back, actually on my, which one was it? The Avengers page I did, where I did all the Avengers. That was watercolour, Prismacolor, and then a combination of markers and just blenders. But yeah, you can use a blender pen over Prismacolors. The beauty of Prismacolors, though, is that you don't need to. But I have used coloured marker over Prismacolors it just gives a really smooth kind of finish to it. It's really nice, actually. But I don't want the ring that appears. You know, like when you use an alcohol blender with alcohol markers, you get kind of a bloom of the alcohol soaking into that area. You would get that with like a blending stump and Zest It, but you don't get it with the markers, the marker blending pen, because it's a lot more precise. You can stay away from the edges of the work. So she's got a bit of a sneer going on, hasn't she? Don't quite know where that came from. Let's use the dark pink. Give her a bit of colour there. And, oh, that's a nice olive green. Got a nice olive green here. It's kind of a browny green. It's a Faber-Castell one. No, it's not. That's not the one I wanted to pick up. Where did it go? Ah, there we go. No, hang on. Where's it gone? I didn't imagine it. It's here somewhere. There. Olive green yellowish, it's called. Which is a yellowish olive green. But it's a subtle green. It's like the green that's in here. So I think that'll work for her eyes there. I might actually use some of that grey that I started with as well, just to add a bit of shadow. Bring that grey and green down around her eyes a little bit. Whatever colour I do the eyes, I like to use that colour around the eyes as well. Kind of like the principle of makeup, where if you've got brown eyes, you use brown makeup. Similar thing. I just like to bring it out so it brings her. I hate paper stumps. Paper stumps set my teeth on edge. Try Q-tip. That should have the same effect, but it's a plastic handle, so it shouldn't get all over your hands. There you go, she's looking all right now. I want to put some more of this green in a few of her shadows. Like I say, just to bring it down around the face a little bit. It kind of evens it out a bit. I think I'm going to try and lift that out a little bit. Let's see if it will work. Pencil over acrylic, so it might lift out a little bit. No, of course it's not going to lift out. Okay, so the next best thing to lifting it out is to white it out. And then redo the detail. That's better. There we go. Now I just need to blend out that tash she's got going on there, because she looks like she's got a bit of a Hitler tash going on. I don't think we want that. Black. Ooh, the black's nice. Ooh, goes on smooth and dark. Ooh, I'm liking that. Bit more olive green, I think. And then I'll get my whites. And a thin brush. Well, that's not much good, is it? It's splaying. That one will do. No. Ah. That's a water. That's a acrylic paint one. No, I'll have to squeeze it out. I can't do it that way. No blobbo. Let's clean up her eyes a little bit. Oops. Like that. Put a bit of on her nose there. Her cheekbones. A bit on her top of her mouth there. There we go. £60 for an advent calendar in Lush, or £20 for one in Benefit. Pfft. I bought a Minions one for £1 in Wilko's. Right. I think I've done as much detail on her face as I can get away with doing for now. I'd like to go back in and do some, obviously she needs eyelashes and things. And her eyeshadow needs blending out a little bit. But I don't want to get too detailed on her face, because then it won't mesh with everything else on the page, because the wolf isn't even started yet and she's nearly finished. So I don't want to get too much more detail on her before I get the wolf done. So I think I'm going to leave it there for today, actually. I've got a huge amount done on this one, which is what I wanted. I've just thrown white paint everywhere. I'm so messy. I'm liking her. I think she's all right. I'm loving the colours, loving the colour scheme. And I've still got these bits that I can use. I'm thinking I might break these up into bits and have them coming down from the top, maybe. I can still use those bits because they're all the right colours, you see. And even if I don't use them, they've been inspired my colour palette, so there you go. That's it for today, I think. Thank you for joining me, and see you all again next week, I guess. Did you watch the oil painter woman you linked on Facebook? Yeah, I told you, I've seen her before. I think I'm subscribed to her, actually, because I've seen that video before quite a few times. That's something else I want to get into, but I thought acrylic might be easier to start with. I've got water-based oil paints that I want to try. But I'm feeling a bit, I don't know, I'm not apprehensive, I don't feel like I've got the skills to tackle oil paints yet. I'm still fluffing my way along with acrylics. So I think I'll fluff my way along with acrylics a little bit longer. And I'm certainly doing a lot better with these craft paints. I'm liking these. They're very blendy. Yeah, I'll do some more acrylic practice before I get too into oil paint. Because the thing that bothers me about oil paint is that you can't really, like, if I mess up acrylic, like with this, I didn't quite get it looking how I wanted. So I could go back and go, oh, well, that's okay, I'll just colour it in with a bit of colour pencil. See? I don't think you can do that with oils. Even water-based oils, I don't think you can do that with. So, yeah, it's going to be a bit of a learning curve. But maybe I'll give it a go at some point. Right, see you Saturday crowd next week. Witchy crowd, I'll see you on Wednesday. Bye.